if this is indeed the LLME, I really regret not getting more because I had the opportunity to get more, and I was like, I have so much whiskey, I don't need more whiskey, which is probably a good thing that I didn't. But welcome to Whiskey and SV. I'm your host Sam, and tonight we're going to be doing another laser conspiracy episode. And I'm joined by my good friend Tam.
Thanks for having me for another Russell's.
All right, thank you for coming over, Tam.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to explain what this controversy is all about?
Yeah, so the community online, especially Rare Bird 101, has said there is some...
Who's Rare Bird 101?
He's a known turkey aficionado on the online community.
I see.
He knows very well about all the turkey products.
Okay.
And he was the first one to explain in an article about this laser cold engraving that this LLME batch is the closest to the Russell's 15 in terms of production and vatting. And then there is supposedly older juice in here that might or might not have come out of the Russell's.
I think at first there was some speculation that some of the leftover barrels from that had gone into it, but then they corrected it and said it wasn't necessarily that, but they were older and higher quality nevertheless.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, yeah, I had a sample of this from my friend Ralph, and they're not all LLME. The ME part means just it was from year 2024, month of May, right? 5th month.
Yes.
But then there's a day after that as well. So
correct.
I think the Rare Bird guy, he's got his name is too difficult. The RB guy said that he tried 20 LLME 20 and LLME 17, and apparently he found both of them to be good. Awesome. The one we have is 17, and then we have two other ones. One of is LLMA. MA I think is from January, and then you bought one today.
Yes, this is LLMD, the one from April. So the month right before this one.
Right before this one. Okay, cool. So there's some chance that it might be also okay, just by virtue of proximity.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Cool. So we are going to do a blind. So let's pour them out and see how it goes.
Sounds good.
All right. All right. So now that we're set up, I guess I'm going to leave the room first. You can do a couple of shuffles, and then you can go out and I'll do a shuffle. And then
okay.
All right. Start by leftmost.
Yep.
All right. So it's quite oaky for a 10-year-old bourbon, right? It does smell significantly oaky.
It does. You get a lot of that funky wood.
Yeah, this is very inviting. I quite enjoyed that nose. I'm gonna do the nose first and then go back to tasting because I don't want to start tasting straight away. All right, number 2, second one. Wow. So this is suddenly way more fruity.
This is more fruity. It's also less oaky.
Yeah, less oaky, but much more fruity. And it's you wouldn't know that this is the same product, right? And this is a batch product. It's not a single barrel product, so it's very surprising that it's so different. And what I remember yesterday is that I tried I did a fresh crack of that January one, the LLMA.
Yeah.
And I tried it against a LLME 06 sample.
Oh wow.
And the 06 sample was just really amazing, that the ME 06. And it had a lot more fruity stuff in it, as well as the oak. So this one doesn't have the oak, so I'm a little bit confused. But from an enjoyability perspective, I'm not really sure. I would say this is just oak, and it's missing any fruits at all. Correct. But so I kind of prefer this right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So the last one? So this is closer to the second one to me, but it also has the oak a little bit.
Yes.
So as of now, if I'm to guess, my guess is that this is the LLME 17.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so you want to start from the least or the most? Which one?
I think we should start with the least. and then go, because this is the oakiest, right?
Yeah.
So maybe let's transition to the oakiest.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, this smells really good. It's like not comparable. That's very nice. I get like that oak character accompanied by a good amount of like cherry and baking spices.
Yeah.
It's both fruity and has a good complement of spices and oak in it.
Yeah. I would like to add to that, but I'm also getting like a bitter finish right now that's clinging to the tongue.
Yes. Tannins.
The tannins are really strong, so you can feel the oak presence.
Especially for something that's only 45%, it's surprising like that the tannins are so
apparent too.
Yeah. But I'm the kind of person that likes that kind of oak. I think some people would say that's over oaked.
Yeah. For me, I might say it's a little bit over oaked.
Okay, cool. All right, should we go to the second one?
Yep.
All right.
I really like the nose on this one.
Yeah. This one's significantly less oaky than the other one on the nose.
Yeah.
For me, this is missing those fruity notes. It tastes younger, and it just doesn't have the same complexity and the dense stuff that I'm getting in that first one.
I don't feel a lingering finish like the tannin. Like there's no presence on the tongue for this one. It's very thin as well, where you can taste like a cherry syrup.
Yeah.
You get a thin, watery viscosity on this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, last one.
Yep. Cheers.
Okay. Yeah. This one is the least interesting and complex on the nose. It's actually not enjoyable at all on the palate. I would say I'm leaning towards disliking this because it's void of any sweetness or fruity notes. And it's just mostly just bitter oak.
I agree. Like the oak and the bitterness is just drying out your tongue.
The difference is the oak in this, I feel like it is tannins, but it also has some sweetness to it.
I agree.
The oak in this is like more. It's like what I would say is this comes across as very charred oak that has that sweet flavors.
Yeah.
This is like oak that's not charred as much, and it's just the bitters from the oak.
That makes sense.
To me, that's like how it comes across. Okay, I mean, again, so I would say from an enjoyment perspective, this is by far superior to me. This one is fine, and this one is something that like I wouldn't even pay $40 for it.
Yeah.
Like I have no desire to go back to this.
Yeah, this one's enjoyable. This one is a good daily sipper. And then this one, I just don't want to feel the oak presence on my tongue.
Yes. And just if you go back to the nose, this is opening up more and more, and it's like very aromatic versus these two. If this is indeed the LLME, I really regret not getting more because I had the opportunity to get more, and I was like, I have so much whiskey, I don't need more whiskey, which is probably a good thing that I didn't. But it's so good. I mean, for $40, whatever this is, it's amazing.
It's a really good PR.
Yeah.
So if you were to rate preference on the nose, I would actually like
the second one.
Like for me, I actually think I like this one more. Like this one, and then this one.
Yeah, I think both nose and palate is for me. This is superior. Yeah, I think a lot of people, not a lot, but like if you're not an oak person, you might find this too oaked.
I agree.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy that. Okay, cool. So let's do the reveal and see if it's indeed the right one. Yeah, this is number one. So number one was the LLME. So okay,
so
good.
Wait,
so it is.
Is this one number 4?
Should be number 4. Yeah. So it should be this way. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, number 4. And then that means this is number 2. Okay, so 2 was I don't know which one was the middle one.
That's the LLMD.
MD.
Yeah. Okay. So right
before it was also somewhat decent.
Yeah.
And then this is from January, which is number 3, and this is the worst one.
And this is number 6, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So there you have it, folks. This is not just in people's imaginations. There's a reason. Rare Bird RB guy. He knows what he's talking about. I think. I think I wouldn't like pay. I've seen people selling these in secondary for over $100. I wouldn't do that because I think the value is if you find it at the $40 mark. But it's not something I would go out and overpay for. I would say if knowing what I know now and being confident that it's this good though, I may have bought more than just the 1 or 2 that I did.
Oh wow.
Yeah. This is one of those things that if I had a case of it, I think it's for a $40 whiskey. It's something that could be a
a really good daily sipper.
Yes. Not that I do daily sipping,
but don't overpay. Don't overpay the 100 something on secondary right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it is worth $100. It's just like there's so much of it around that you can, tell me what other whiskey you can have that tastes like this. I think this to me reminds me of a 1924.
Wow.
Yeah. So, in fact, let's do a quick side by side with a 1924. I think because I really love the 1924. So and this reminds me of it from how aromatic it is. So it's worth doing a quick test to see if it is indeed
holding up to this big boy.
Yeah. So that 1924 is around 130, 140 bucks, right?
Yes.
So the question is, is this like, if it's selling on secondary for about 100, 120-ish, is it worth it, right?
Yeah.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, so this is different, but I wouldn't say necessarily it's worse. This is not necessarily worse.
This is a lot brighter. This is a lot darker.
Yeah. Okay, let me see. From an enjoyment perspective, I wouldn't say that this is necessarily superior by a long shot. I think they're on par. Like I get the same enjoyment from this and this. They're different, but I mean it's 5% less ABV, but this also had like lots of oak and
I agree.
Fruits and And then when you consider that the Russell's Reserve 15, if you want to buy it, you got to pay, $400.
Yeah.
So I would say 100 to 120 is not a ridiculous price.
I agree.
But if you search enough, you can probably just get it at MSRP,
Yeah.
It's not like you're not going to be able to get the Russell's 15 for MSRP, but even if you did, the MSRP is 250.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So I wouldn't pay 100 just because I think if you look enough, you can probably get it at that price. But is it worth that price? Realistically, I think it is.
It's pretty close, yeah. Wow. They have very similar characteristics.
Right.
One is more red fruity oak, and one is more dark chocolatey oak.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily that there's like a huge enjoyment difference. They're different profiles, but they're not enjoyment-wise. They're yeah. All right. So there it is, folks. I hope that you are able to get your hands on this. It's kind of interesting that a batch product like this changes so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep an eye out for this rare bird guy that I've never heard of before. Apparently, he knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Thanks again, Tom.
All right. Cheers.
All right. See you next time. I think the I think the rare bird. Why can't I say rare bird?
Rare bird.
All right. I think the rare bird guy. He's got too high. His name is too difficult. The RB guy